Hello, it's John Vince Fisherman. I'm back. Another Garcia. This is a Abumatic 170. Got a little bit of line left on. I'll take care of that one. That's odd, but I'll take care of that when I get the reel apart. These are very well built reels. Take the rotor off. I've got two of them. I wound up with winning two at auction. This one's got a little ding. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the best of the two reels and make me a nice shelf rider, and take the other one and make it into a reel to fish with. So I'll be tearing both of them down at some point here. All right, let's take. I've never done one of these. This one says Bob's Reel Repair, Madison, Wisconsin. So somebody's been into this reel. That's interesting. Got a little tag down in there. It's been pre. It's got some line on. I'm not sure. I guess it was like spool filler, and then they put their sticker on it. So that's odd. So if you know anything about this reel and Bob's Reel Repair, post up in the comments. Maybe you're Bob out there watching. I don't know if I'll be able to. It's string. It's heavy string is what it is. It's got fishing line wrapped on it. I've got to cut that line. All right, so I got the line off of there. So what they've done is they've pre-filled the spool so that they didn't have to use 5 million yards of looks like 6-pound motto on it. Yes. We're going to take it off of there. Sorry, Bob. See here? There it is. There's the line, this string coming off. Yeah. There's a lot of string on there. But that's what that was. It's a spool filler. A while to empty that spool up with that string, doesn't it? Can't really pull it off like this. It wasn't even hooked to the line. It was just on there as a filler. So it should just kind of be laying on there when I. Oh, there it is. There's the end of it. Yep, it's just got a loop in it. So out of there, no problem. So, Bob, you're a smart man. That's a good way to fill one of these up without using a ton of line on it. Let's just do them both at the same time, since I'm going to combine two reels into one. This one does not have filler on it. This one's a little dirty. This one's been used a little more than that one. You see the differences there. Can't really take that apart yet. Let's go into this side. I do this a lot. I'll buy 2 or 3 reels at a time and make one good one out of it. Just combine the best parts of the 2 reels. And the other one will probably go on my eBay store, or it'll go on a rod and I'll give it to a kid or something, or I'll save it for parts. Who knows? Okay, we'll take the handle off. And I'll look at how this thing is made here. That's pretty neat. Go into this one. This one might be a little cleaner. I can see what it's made of on the inside. As you can see, the prettier reel had the dent in the spool. Somebody dropped it. So that's probably the only, or not the spool, but the rotor cover. So that's a shame, but I'm going to fix that. There's that cover. See, this reel's barely used. Okay, see, now I can see how it goes together. There's 2 snap rings in there, which is pretty common for Ambassador. They just love these little snap rings that go flying in the air, and you get to go searching for them for days. We're going to be real careful. We'll pull them out one at a time. Just kind of got to take a small screwdriver and hook onto them. Pull them out. And then your spool can just come off. Well, okay, see, I just learned something. I could have just twisted the spool and pulled it off there. So see, on this one, I know now I can twist the spool and pull it off. Okay, I learned something by taking the thing apart. Are we still going to take it apart? Oh, yeah. So this one is a little bit dirtier, and it's going to be a little bit harder to get to the snap rings, but I got them off, and they'll clean up. I'll put those in my parts washer, and they'll be like brand new. This reel has been used. This reel has caught some fish. This reel has stories to tell. That other reel, it's sat on a shelf. So this one's going to be difficult. I can't really see the snap ring to get a hook on it. Did I just? Yeah, I just got it. There it is. Okay. We'll pull that off of there. 2 of them we can clean up. And the next thing is just looking at it here. I want to say this shaft goes, no, that don't work. Maybe it comes out the back. String all over that. That doesn't work. So how do you get that off of there? Interesting. This one's a little bit easier to see. These were made in Sweden too, by the way. It says Sweden. I can't tell if that's not a retainer. It won't come out. Looks like to me there is a retainer. There's a retainer down here. I got to bend the ear down. Bob's been in here. This unscrews. Bob kind of messed that up. Bob, step away from the wrench. Okay, we got that out. See how all this works. We'll take this apart last. So once again, there's a little ear that you bend down. That little ear right there, you bend that down flat as you can, and you can take a adjustable wrench, put it on their set of flats there. Really, it's not in there tight. That comes off. This will come off. That's that part of the reel. And we get over here. It looks like there's this screw comes out. Maybe not. There it goes. It's in reverse. So it's reverse thread. Pay attention to this, folks. That's a retaining nut. And your star. Okay. We'll kind of lay it out here so you see it as we go. And then you got handle nut. Be sure if it's going to be reverse thread. Oh, that's on there tight. Got it though. That off. So you see how I'm laying it out. Then you had your handle. And that's got like a leather washer down inside of it. Like a barrel. Oh. And your gear can come out this side. And your anti-reverse is down there. So we're going to look at that. Here's your drag. Set this over here out of the way. I want to be able to watch this later because I have a feeling I'm going to get stuck on it. It's pretty nasty too. That's that goes here. There's another drag washer in there. It's really nasty, actually. Don't think that's a shim. That doesn't come off. That. And then up under there, you've got here's your anti-reverse. It's tight up in there. Well, it's got to come out. That's got to come up. This has to come up. There's a retainer in there. Yeah, there is. Okay, there's two screws. Smaller. It's a retainer plate, and this whole thing will come out. Those Swedes are smart people, I tell you. Screws were a little tight. You know, I'm a big fan of Ambassador reels. Or not Ambassador, but Abu Garcia, which makes the Ambassador. I want to say this will all come out straight to me now. I've got tools gathering here, so sometimes you just got to take them and set them out of the way. But this whole thing should come up out of there. There we go. Yeah. Okay. That's the housing. We're done there. We can clean that. Set it right there. Let's look at this. That was the retainer that held. It went in behind this right here. This is all one piece. This is an anti-reverse dog. It can come off of there. There is a funny looking shim underneath there. But this all stays together, including that tube in there, that brass tube. It may slide out, but I'm going to leave it alone. That's how you adjust your drag. So let's take the other one apart. It's a little cleaner. You got a handle nut. Remember, it was reverse thread. That, and then you got your drag is standard thread, and so is handle nut. That's all. That's all coming apart on me. That's nice. But that one, Bob, what'd you do here? All right. This one, we'll clean those drag washers. That's a bearing, I believe. Spring. It's a spring. Here we go, drag washer again. Might be all made one. That's one piece. It's a little bit different. They're made different. These two reels are different in some aspects. So what I'm going to have to do here is lay them out. Yes, they are different. Now let's try to take. There's the felt washer that's up inside that one. It's just destroyed right now. This one you can take the little brass tube out. The other one won't. We can go ahead and take this off of here. I think. We need to. Looks like I'm not going to tear this up. Nope, we're not going to play with that. All right, so the retainer plate's still in there. That goes together. What a mess. Maybe I shouldn't have done two of these at a time. Goodness. There's that retainer plate, this thing right here. It's in like this. Take it off. Taking these two screws out. They're in there pretty good. Those are all four the same, so they'll be okay. And all this can come out together. We'll use my needle nose to get a hold of it. There's the housing. Okay, let's look at this. You got the anti-reverse. You see how it goes on there. Don't think you can get that wrong. It won't go but one way. The retainer slides out from under. So you have to put the retainer in to put this in there. And then it's got this little piece right here that goes on the end of that. It's like a little protector. And that's it. Reels, both of them. That's going to be a whole lot to clean. Be a nice looking reel. So the clean, yeah, I've got to keep these parts somewhat together. But the one Bob took apart here, he kind of boogered this up. If you look at it here, Bob's Reel Repair, Wisconsin. Got kind of jacked up there, so we're going to fix this. So when we go back together, it's going to be right. Okay. This one was not jacked up at all. It was on the dirty reel. Okay. Well, there we are. I'll be back. It might be a couple days before I get back to this one. And we'll put it together. Well, it's John. I'm back. I had to make a decision on this reel. Or the two reels I had here. One was in such bad shape. Um, the handle was bent on the other one. The rotor cover was bent. I ended up just, it's a reel in a box. And I needed a couple parts to make this one look good. So there it is. I'm probably going to end up selling it for parts. I'll break it down for parts. So sometimes it happens like that, you know. You can't fix them. Just the handle was so bent. If I tried to straighten it, it would have really looked bad. So we're gonna build one, make one pretty reel out of it, and you know, I lost maybe $10-15 on that reel, that other one. So it's not the end of the world to make a pretty reel out of this one. I'm pretty okay with that. So just going to go through and do some final cleaning on it. It's in beautiful shape. No questions about the shape of it. Just got to remember how it all goes back together. Let's see here. Let's see. It goes back on top of there. Okay. And we'll do a lot of thinking out loud on this one because I've watched the video a couple times. I think I got it, but you know, this goes on there like that. So it's probably ought to put some lube on there. Whole thing. I want to say it goes on like this. Okay. Like I said, I haven't never built one of these reels. I know that the anti-reverse dog have to go on before it goes in there, and it goes on like this. So this whole thing, see how it goes? This whole thing's got to slide down in there. Kind of tricky. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, get your anti-reverse dog lined up with the peg. Then that will go in there, and you can kind of get it lined up, and screws will go in. See how it is right there now? I'm gonna have to use my screw setter because screws are way down in there. There's nowhere my big fingers. I'm gonna put one screw in right here, and it really didn't have to take both those screws out after looking at it. I think you can take one screw out, and then you can slide this, and that whole shaft will come out, and then you can slide it back and tighten it down. Does that make sense to everybody? Not a bad design. It looked trickier than what it was. We're gonna tighten that down. Even my screwdrivers got dirty on this little deal. This was a really dirty reel. Or both these reels were really well. The one wasn't so bad, but um, it just had some issues as far as cosmetics. And then the other reel was good with cosmetics, but had some mechanical issues. So, okay. All right, now I want to say there's a lot to this, believe it or not. That goes on last. Okay. All right, here's your main shaft. And here, okay, so it gets a carbon washer. I'll put a little bit of cowls on it because it's going to sit for a long time before somebody uses it. So that goes on there like that. And your gear goes on like this. Centered better on there than that. Oh, here it is. Takes a spacer in there. All right. And then your drag, a little bit of cowls on that. This can actually sit in there. Sits on those teeth like that. Then just go on there, put in and get seat. This is fun. We need to lubricate this. I hope I'm doing this right, folks. I've watched the video several times, so if I go back and if it doesn't look right, I'll just go back and fix it. But this tube goes in there, centers all that up. Go down further than that. The tube goes all the way down in there. One of them had this built one way, and one of them had it built the other way. I'm gonna just looking at it thinking it goes like this. Takes the one keyed washer, then the spring, and then a keyed washer. It's just got to be right. I mean, I can't see it going any other way. And then we can put the drag on, the star adjuster on. Okay, so that's working. And if you were to slip the drag, it should make a popping sound. Should make a popping sound. No. Okay. Anyway, there's that. And then you've got your retaining nut that goes on the outside. And it is reverse thread. Okay. Okay. Got that. Let's give the paddle a little bit of lubricant. All right. So what we got here is the internals are built. Now, here is your pinion shaft, and it goes up in there. I believe all this kind of has to just kind of set together here. In other words, this is a little bit of a complicated reel, to be honest with you. Let's give this main gear a whole lot of grease, because it's going to need grease right in there. It's going to need grease on the teeth. Go ahead and lube it up good. Hopefully everybody can see what I'm doing. All right. When this thing was together, and this actually could go on, well, no, it can't. It's got to go on now. Yeah. Dang tight. Oh, hang on a second. Good old compressor got me again. I always forget that daggum thing is on. This thing here, this is your pinion. Well, give that some oil. Good, solid fit there, man. It's nice. This goes on. We'll give that. We'll just go ahead and grease that gear up good too. Won't hurt it none. Slide that shaft should, or do I have it backwards? I got it backwards. Yep. Hey, that was smart. Okay, now it goes like this. Thank you, everybody, for noticing that. So this has to go in there, but that retainer has to go right there, and you'll tighten this down. You see how the retainer is on both sides of that hole there? And once we get the thing tightened down here, see how it's all going together? Like I said, this is a bit of a complicated reel to be a spin cast. They normally aren't like this. You got to tighten this shaft down. I did what? Was it Billy or Bob or whoever originally built this reel? I just did what he did, so I can't give him too much of a hard time about it. You got to tighten this down without that slipping off of that, and it's not exactly easy to do because it wants to spin. We got that tight. Cool. Now This ear needs to bend up against. Really looks like it should come back just a little bit. We'll get it here in a second. Something tells me it's supposed to kind of be a little bit loose. And I gave Bob a hard time because Bob left it loose, but y'all sitting there saying, "Who the hell's Bob?" Well, remember when I took the line off? It was Bob or Billy's or something like that. Billy Bob's, I don't know. I gave him a hard time because he left this loose, but I think it's supposed to be kind of left loose. And then you take that retainer and you bend the dog ear up. It's a fairly malleable metal, so it's easy to do that. You see how that retains that. Now this can't come loose. Retained. This is retained in here, and this is retained to the flat on the post. Okay. All right, that's fun. Now this can go in with. We'll put a little bit heavier oil on this. It's not going to turn or anything. It's just kind of slide. Can go in, and it goes up into the cross wind, and it gets 2 snap rings. I got more machinery running around. It's really fun. That's the dehumidifier just fired up. Now these are going to be a bit of a pain, especially that last one down there. I've already lost one. That's my disclaimer. I've already lost one. It's God knows where. All right, now this is going to be a pain. This is the one I keep losing. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now let's see how it works. It should, yeah, there we go. Moving the spool up and down. There, oscillating the spool. All right. Good deal. Okay, now we can put the spool on. The spool goes on and locks in place. Just like that. We can put the rotor on. A little dab of grease up in there, maybe a little bit on there. All that's oiled pretty good. It's in decent shape. We'll just give it a little drop of oil here and there. And it'll just kind of go in, and you got to kind of this needs to be pushed. Maybe it does. And I think I can tighten it up once I put the handle on here. Okay, so here's your handle. Before I do anything else, I'm going to give those screw holes a little bit of grease. I'll lubricate everything up down in there. Oh, I see something I forgot. Go back and put that on. Those 2 screws in. This happens. It happens. If you're building reels, you're going to occasionally forget something. You're going to have to go back and do it over again. And this screw whatever reason, doesn't want to line up. See? I think I got it now. There it goes. I think I can take that handle back off without taking the whole reel. I think I got that tight. Not popping back. Handle's not popping back. There we go. Tighten the drag down all the way. Seems to be all the way tight. Okay. What I did, I left that felt out from under there. I'll have to put that back. That's cast. Okay. Now let's try to put that felt back in without taking the whole reel apart. Comes out, reverse thread, and your drag comes off. I want to say this whole piece. Yeah, there we go. And then your felt goes up under here. That's to keep uh, water out of the gearbox, but it's not really going to do anything because, well, water can get in back here. So I don't know really what their thought process was. There, and your drag will go on. Drag all the way up. It looks like it's got a fight and drag type thing where you can back off of it. It is. You can preset your drag out here, and it gets a little tighter as you like. You can. I'll show you how it works here in a second. So what we got here is an Abumatic 170 pieced together out of two. I had to use a couple of internal parts. So see how this works. There's where you got a preset. This is a preset type drag. See? As you crank into it, it gets tighter. But if you back off, that must come undone. So anyway, it's kind of like a preset fighting drag, synchro drag. You would call it on their bait casting reels. They call it a synchro. And the last thing to do is to put this pretty cover on. This one doesn't have a mark on it. Doesn't have a specific way to go like the Zebcos do. The Zebcos have a water weep hole in the bottom. The only spot on this reel, and like I said, I made this out of two reels. The other boxer parts there will either just go in my parts storage or I'll sell it on eBay on my storage parts for Synchro 170, or Abumatic 170. But there it is. The only place is right there. I'll show you how to fix that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take a Q-tip, because I got oil all over this reel, right? So We got some isopropyl alcohol here. Some alcohol on the Q-tip. You can use denatured alcohol, isopropyl. It doesn't matter. Just something that a mild, something mild that you can get oil off with. Just take it and just rub a little bit of that oil off right there. Right. It's the only place on this whole reel, and you see it got some oil off of it. Won't take the paint off. That's a crinkle finish. And you're going to take a black king size Sharpie. You're going to rub it. There you go. You can do that a couple of times. That will take that reel. Even there's a couple of little rubs right here. Actually, I can take it. This is typical, man. These reels get beat around, you know. Get beat around out there fishing, and finding reels that are unused are getting harder and harder to do. So you just got kind of, if you want a nice reel to put on your shelf, sometimes you just got to do a little extra work. There it is. I showed you another one of my tricks. I don't sell any of these reels as being perfect when I do sell them. This one won't get sold. It's going to go on my eBay store, or on my shelf. It won't go on my eBay store. So getting all this stuff out of the way here. There it is. Isn't that beautiful? Abumatic 170. Well, this is John, Vintage Fisherman. Thanks for watching. It was a fun little reel. 2 reels actually, and there's the second one. It's in parts. It's missing one snap ring because there's a snap ring that went into orbit here somewhere. I have no idea where. And that's about it. I couldn't fix. Get a couple parts out of here and show you where I hit a snag. This is dented, so there's no way to. You can straighten it back out, but the anodizing is done. The star drag has a couple bad rubs on it. And then here was the killer. I can't really overcome this. The handle is bent every which way but loose. It's got to go up and then back out. And you can see how this one is proper and this one is not. So I went with the best parts of the 2 reels. Pretty dang happy with it. Like I said, this will go out in my parts bin. And I'll revisit if I ever need any parts. There it is. A reel in a box. This is John, Vintage Fisherman. Thanks for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel. I'll have more content coming your way. Talk to you later.